Broncos country, what is going on? We already got people in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend. I know I owe y'all a Senior Bowl video, but here's the deal, guys. Cooper Kupp, Myles Garrett look like they're both on the trade block. We not only have playoff goals now for 2025, but it's to make some noise in the playoffs. Should the Broncos take a look at acquiring Cooper Kupp or Myles Garrett? This is going to be a little bit more geared towards Cooper Kupp because I've talked a lot about him and I think that's a more pressing need. But I'll cover both of these players. We'll dive into their contracts, what acquiring them would look like from a cap perspective. And if you guys determine that something like that's worth it, of course, smash that like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hey, good to see the whole gang here. Marky Sports chiming in saying, let's go. Just talked about the exact topic. We'll all need to go watch your video. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. We're going to dive into it here in just a minute. D-Rock saying yes to the Triple Crown. No to Myles Garrett. Dave Manning popping in saying yes on Kupp. Well, let's go ahead and see kind of what the implications of acquiring these players would look like. And then I'll break it down. Is their cost/value worth it? So let's get started. Friendly tool here, SpoTrack, and it looks like they have an iOS app now for all you iPhone users. So that's awesome. I'm going to need to download that and check that out. But hey, here we go. Let's make my face. Yeah, come over here. So let's make a move. Here, well, I guess we could also just look at the contracts here first. This is Cooper Kupp's contract right now. He's due $20 million in cash. So if a team is to acquire his contract, it's from my understanding that this becomes the cap number of the team that's acquiring him. Now, this is where things get, really, really interesting, is that he's not only under contract for 2025, he's also under contract for 2026, and then he's a restricted or unrestricted free agent. So we'll go through the trade process, kind of see how that impacts things for the Broncos cap. But it's good to know that he's under contract for 2 years. Myles Garrett, with his contract, he's under contract for 2 years as well, with void years structured in. I don't believe the void years carry to the new team. I think that's something that Cleveland just owns, but I could be totally wrong on that. High cap hit, but let's see. Cash due, 2025 cash is almost $19 million. So yeah, it's gonna be pricey taking both of these guys on. Bear with me just for a moment, guys. I'm gonna shut the door here. So I don't lose my train of thought. So let's go ahead and bust out the trusty make a trade tool right here. As you can see right now, Broncos got $37 million in cap space as of right now. I've already brought up the LA Rams. Oh, where did Cooper Kupp go? Let me refresh. Don't even know what happened here. Bear with me for a second, guys. 2 posts, 1 cut. Man, you're madness, Marky. But it's funny because I've talked a lot about Cooper Kupp this year, possibly trading for him at the deadline, and I thought that would be an interesting move. Of course, you would need to extend him to free up that cap number or lessen it per year. But with Cortland Sutton kind of reemerging in the second half of the season, I feel a lot different about it than maybe I did at the trade deadline. I don't know if it's necessarily needed for this team, but let's say we make a trade here for Cooper Kupp. Would you give a day 3 pick for him? I would, and possibly, I guess, to say on face value, I would, but with the $20 million in cap, that's just not something that I'm interested in doing at all. I think then you would want to look at an extension, but I don't know if that really makes sense either. If you're going to have Cortland Sutton and you can see Cooper Kupp on the books for about the same amount of cap space. You want to lessen both of those numbers. So then are you telling me, like, are you extending both Cortland Sutton and Cooper Kupp? Are you letting Cooper Kupp just chill here for this year and then having a higher cap hit next year, which I believe his contract has? To me, that doesn't really make any sense. I think to answer the question on Cooper Kupp, I think if we decide to move on from Cortland Sutton, maybe it makes sense. Release, we can still save about $7 million, but you're also going to an older player. Again, I still think Cooper Kupp is really, really good, but I don't think he's $20 million cap hit type of good. And while he's a little bit older than Cortland Sutton, um, while Cortland Sutton is a little bit younger as well, it just doesn't make any sense to move off of court for Coop in my mind. Ideally, I would have wanted to have them possibly, uh, if we traded for Cooper Kupp at the trade deadline, then maybe we extend him. But I don't know. Just with the play that Cortland Sutton's given us right now, I don't think it really makes any sense to acquire him. And I'm even saying, like, for real cheap, because with this sort of cap hit, I just don't see teams get willing to give up much for him at all. Like, I'm talking about maybe best case scenario. Again, this is just my perspective as a fan, so I don't follow this as closely as some of these NFL insiders, but I think it's going to be hard for the Rams to get anything less than like or anything more than like a sixth or seventh round pick for him with this type of money. Now, when you also like look at his statistics as well, let me pull that up. All right. So this is just based on Google right here, but you can kind of see here you're starting to see the production go down a little bit. And again, 2021, almost 2,000 yards of receiving. Like, that was a beautiful, beautiful season for them, right? Was that their Super Bowl year? But then you see 812 yards, 737 yards, and then this year, 710 yards. I know he missed a little bit of time. Puka Nakua is also emerging. And again, I think that you would want to see him take like a really team friendly deal. But how I feel right now is that he's not really needed on this team. If he was younger than Cortland Sutton, I think that this is something that you would definitely think about swapping out those $20 million or so cap hits. And again, looking to extend him and bring that money down. But Cooper Kupp, he's the older player. He's a player coming off of a worse season. He's, more injury prone as of late, but again, I still feel like he'll be generally available. But he doesn't really have anything going in his favor if you're comparing him directly with Cortland Sutton right now. And as you can see in the bottom of my screen, Troy Franklin believer. I'm a Troy Franklin believer, guys. Of course, I'm going to be pumped if we sign Darius Slayton, Chris Godwin, draft a wide receiver within the first 4 rounds this next year. It's going to be awesome. But if we can find a great running back and tight end, I think our wide receiver core we're going to have right now is going to look even better. No doubt about it. So, all that to say, this is a long-winded answer for me to just say no. Even though I think we could get him for really cheap, you can get him for cheap because that cap hit is insane. So, again, maybe you're able to work out some sort of extension, but do you want to extend him into his 34 and 35-year-old seasons? To me, that just doesn't really make any sense right now. I think the Rams are going to have a hard time getting value back for him. That's just, and I imagine they're just wanting to sell, like, they're wanting to shed salary. Let's just take a look at this right now. So when you look at their cap space, they have about $41 million in cap space. That's great. And they're getting their draft picks back now too, right? So yeah, you trade Cooper Kupp. Come on now. So you trade him, it's a $45 million dead cap hit. What? Say we trade for a 7th-round pick. Well, where did this go? I processed it. Anyways, so you saved $12 million or so trading Cooper Kupp. Think it makes sense for them to do. I don't think they're going to get a lot of value back in terms of picks. The main thing that they get back is $12.5 million in cap space. That's really, really nice. Now, let's take a look at Myles Garrett. Now, some people have brought up trading Nick Menino for him. Absolutely not. No, no, you're not doing that. I think if you were to trade for somebody like Jonathan Cooper, or for Myles Garrett, you're trading somebody like Jonathan Cooper. I think similar types of players, but obviously Myles Garrett is the better version. No offense to Jonathan Cooper, I think he's really solid for us, but this is kind of a same situation where he's going to have a substantial cap hit. Right now, we still have to manage Cooper, or not Cooper Kupps. Let me go ahead and reset this. I don't know why this is so slow today. Come on now. But you can see Jonathan Cooper's cap hit this year is $11.3 million. But let's just say, hey, we end up trading Myles Garrett for Jonathan Cooper, and we're going to have to give up some other draft capital, I imagine, with this as well. So, again, we're at $37.3 million in cap space right now. And we do this to gain $5 million in cap space, getting a player that's much older. I'm not sure how I feel about it, and it's also going to cost draft picks, which many of you guys have been vocal. This doesn't make any sense for us to. I think the majority of you guys are against trading up in the draft. So then, why would you waste extra picks on a guy who is already coming into a position of strength at I think a bargain of a cost right now, with Jonathan Cooper and Nick Benino, Jonah Ellis, all these guys still developing. So we got Jonathan Cooper under contract for till 2029. Again, I think he's on a really good deal. His cap hit is under $15 million each season. Nick Benino's is probably going to be greater than that. So what do you want to have? Myles Garrett and Nick Benino both making over $20 million each for like cap hit purposes every year. To me, that's just a little too much when you guys know the issue with this team is not edge. It is, pretty much everything on the offense, safety, linebacker. That's outside of offensive line, man. I think we got a lot of different positions that we need to throw some money and draft capital towards. So all that to say, it's fun to think about, but again, I think maybe you find a team that has, a ton of extra draft picks that's looking to make a true win now move. I don't think we're in true win now mode, like win the Super Bowl at all costs mode right now. No, no, no. If we can become a contender this next year, a real Super Bowl contender, that's a fantastic step. But to me, trading for Myles Garrett right now, I think it's better suited for a team that's totally win now, like the Philadelphia Eagles, or maybe Buffalo's able to come up with some creative options. I think they might have an out on Von Miller's contract this year. I can't think, or I'm not totally sure about that, but a team like that, maybe the Minnesota Vikings making a win now move. I would imagine Cleveland would prefer to trade him to the NFC conference. At least that's what I would want to see done. Like we trade Von Miller to the Rams. And actually, now that I think about it, maybe Myles Garrett to the Rams could be a really good thing. Again, I think Matthew Stafford looked great this year. And yeah, I think the Rams are just a few more moves away from, again, being a top contender in the NFC. The NFC isn't nearly the gauntlet that the AFC is right now, and so I would imagine an NFC team should go after somebody like Myles Garrett as opposed to us. So, um, anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on this. It's going to be really interesting to monitor. Whew, got a runny nose. It's going to be really interesting to monitor, where these guys go. Um, Again, I just think with the development of our team this year that we saw at the wide receiver position and at the edge position, I just don't know if these guys are worth it from a cap hit perspective. But definitely Cooper Kupp. I think that there's a team that has cash to bring him on a little bit. I think that he's going to be a tremendous value maybe for this first year. We'll see what happens after that. Oh, this is a great point, Mark. You could convert as much of the salary over to upfront cash and lower the cap hit significantly. Does that mean we would need to have some void years involved on this deal? If so, not a fan of that right now. If it's an either or discussion, then absolutely roll with Sun. I'd want both on the team. Okay. So, will Spotrac allow me to manage the contract in this way? Like signing Cooper Kupp. Or maybe I could do it over here. Yeah, the Spotrac site is just running so slow today. I don't know what's up with their servers. Tez Johnson in the third, Tez Johnson in the fourth. Very interesting product out of Oregon. Xavier Restrepo. Hey, my man Marky Sports did a great film review on him. Reminds me of Vlad a little bit. Really good route runner. Just a straight slot guy, but he can get open. And we need guys that can get open. Myles Garrett and Jared Verse would be illegal. Yeah, maybe the Rams do that. Not necessarily. You could pay it as a signing bonus over 2 years or put some very easy incentives to even it out. Oh, okay. So, yeah, maybe there are some ways for us to lower this cap hit a little bit. Now, I'm just going to say, hey, let's say we can lower this cap hit to like freaking $10 million. Cooper Kupp now being less expensive than probably somebody like Darius Slayton on the free agent market. That's appealing to me. That I'm totally down with. So if we can convert that signing bonus money, get that thing down quite a bit, sure, why not? And so in that case, maybe he does go for a higher, day 3 pick. Maybe you can get him or the Rams can get up to a 4th or 5th round pick. To me, it's still just hard seeing like what we saw, for instance, like Amari Cooper go for some of these other guys this past year, the deadline. I just don't see Cooper Kupp going for anything like Devontae Adams type stuff. I mean, that's the Jets. But yeah, let me see here. I'm trying to think here. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm going to try and get this thing going again. LA Rams. We'll trade for Cooper Kupp. And we'll give you guys this 6th round pick. Okay, so Cooper Kupp's on here. But yeah, it's not letting me make any other adjustments on here. That's a little bit of a bummer. Because I'd want to do that. So maybe we take Cortland Sutton as an example at $20 million. Yeah, would we have to extend him? Say we add an extension for like another, I don't know, $15 million. Signing bonus. Yeah, that doesn't look good. I don't even know. Now this is just a boring live stream. So I'm not even sure how this works, but yeah, whatever. Oh, I'm not even sharing this. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Sorry guys, I'm not on my best game today. Victory lap, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Bo knows. Yeah, again, I just feel like if we're gonna go into free agency or the trade market and spend, I'd rather get guys that kind of fit this timeline of helping us compete not only for this next year, but guys that are still going to be within their prime over the next 3 years or so. Really, could Genty fall to 20? He absolutely could. Um, do I think it's likely? No, but hey, you guys know it's time for mock draft Monday. So why don't we just do a mock draft together? And then I'll wrap this thing up and we'll see how it all goes, shall we? But if Genty falls there to 20, I think you definitely take him. I don't think you can pass on him. But let's just see how this goes. And looks like we got some new rankings here. And all of our guys are gone, man. All of our guys. Ashton Genty to the Dolphins. Tyler Warren to the Colts. Ashton Genty on the Dolphins would be awesome. Like, for man, but Jack Besh, congratulations to him on catching that touchdown pass. That was awesome to see in the Senior Bowl. But uh, guys, just kind of how I feel with this right now, is yeah, Devin Neal could be a great option. I think like right now, again, I think that you want to go with Walter Nolan. He could be interesting. I still really like Kenneth Grant. And he's a larger player, so I think he can give you that versatility to truly play nose. But you could draft Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant, one of these guys. This is where things kind of get wonky a little bit. Do you want to take it back like Caleb Johnson or Xavier Watts could be a starting level safety for us? All that Jaden Higgins, he's a guy that I'd be thrilled with if we went and got him in the second round. 6'4", 215 pounds, and it's got great speed. Darius Alexander has just shot up the freaking boards throughout the Senior Bowl or the Shrine. I forget which one he is in, but I remember people were just talking about how good he is, and it looks like, man, he's played himself, into the top 2 rounds. So that's very interesting. Chris Paul Jr., guy that I think Mark Esports or Kodiak, I get your videos confused sometimes, is really that I spent some time talking about him. Athletic linebacker, again, rated great in both run and coverage, stout tackler. Alfred Collins is a guy that I've liked. I did a film review on him. Or we could go with like Travion Henderson or Quinshad Judkins. Like one of these guys I think would just be a lot of fun. Or maybe, hey, in the tight end world, a guy like Gunnar Helm or Elijah Arroyo could be really fun. You've seen Terrence Ferguson. I think, well, he's kind of staying around where he has been on this. But guys, I got to be honest, still not the biggest fan of Mason Taylor. Maybe I'm just biased. I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel like I see some of the juice that some of these other guys got. Like, I don't know. It would not shock me if Terrence Ferguson is a 3rd round pick. I think he had a really strong Senior Bowl, but man, I think for this exercise, let's just let's go with Travion Henderson. A guy that we all really really like. And then, yeah, you could go with a guy like that. Man, this is where things get difficult, man, because, or I guess they don't get difficult because we just drafted a running back, but like Nick Emanwari, available. Interesting to see that, like, I think he's kind of gone down a little bit the last few weeks in terms of where he's been drafted in mocks. Elijah Arroyo, just did a film review on him. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, Devin Neal's still available. Deion Walker didn't have the best Senior Bowl, which sucks, but 6'7", 345 pounds. Yeah, that's right. 6'7" is what he measured in at Senior Bowl. But I think, man, for this one, I'll just go with Elijah Arroyo. Get that tight end. Let's see what we got available at wide receiver. Rashard Smith. I think Markey also did a film review on this guy as well out of SMU. But let's see what kind of wide receivers we got available. Efton Chisholm. I'm a big fan of him after seeing him light up the Shrine Bowl week. Jimmy Horn's going to be drafted. LeJontay Wester, Will Shepherd, all these guys are going to be picked later on. Willie Lampkin, I think, had a really good week at the Senior Bowl. You can never have too many corners. We're not drafting a backup quarterback. Tyler Batty is an interesting prospect. You can never have enough edges. At least that's how I feel. Tyler Barron, I mean, this guy is fantastic. I don't know why his draft stock is falling because I feel like, he had 10 sacks this year at Miami. Really, really good player. But, yeah, I guess for this exercise, I won't take up too much more of your time. Josh Farmer. Yeah, this could be a guy to really add in on the D-line. But I'm going to go with linebacker Jack Kaiser. I like him a lot. Where do we go now? The final 3 picks. We're not doing any trades in this one. Jemery Caldwell, Luke Lachey, all these guys. Efton Chisholm, Rondé Gatson. Gadsden's a really interesting prospect. Lachey is as well. Ricky White, Miles Frazier at guard. A lot of interesting options here. But I guess, why not? We need a guard that we can invest in after Ben Powers is gone. Let's go ahead and grab Efton Chisholm. I think he would be a lot of fun here as a wide receiver. And then a guy like Hunter Warler could be interesting at safety. So we're going to go with him out of Wisconsin. And, they probably won't like this draft. I bet it's like a B- rating. Yeah, see. Yeah, man. Maybe I reach for some of these guys, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So, yeah. If we're at 20 and none of those offensive guys are there, I would love for us to trade back, but again, you need 2 to tango. I just don't know if that's going to be feasible. I just don't know if it's going to happen. But yeah, Walter Nolan would be a lot of fun there as well. So if we go defensive line at 20, you're not going to see any complaining from me. Let's build the best defense in the league while having a really good offense. We don't need the best offense in the league, but if we can have the best defense in the league with Pat Surtain, Nick Bonito, and company, building around them, I really like it. But yeah, we could get a lot of value if we trade back. We'll see if Sean Payton is interested in that this year, right? Traded up for Troy Franklin, missed on Bucky Irving. I mean, that sucks. But this year we got to make sure we get the right running back, and thankfully there are a lot of running backs and tight ends in this class for us to really figure out where we're going to be going at those positions here, and having multiple guys in the pipeline moving forward, I think, at those positions. So, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Really do appreciate every single one of you. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll do that Senior Bowl recap on some of the risers and fallers. Again, appreciate your patience on that. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe on the way out. Appreciate every single one of you. Go Broncos.